But
feels as though,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
God,
But I'm not. But ma'am, whoops. But ma'am, I'm not angry, and
I know you're not. It sounds like it though. The message comes across.
But the message is not I'm angry. The message is God is angry, and that's a truth. God is angry that you're okay with murdering people, but God, even though he was angry, also loved you enough to give you an opportunity to be forgiven. And I'm one-minded. I'll admit that. I am one-minded, but that's the one thing I care about. I don't, I don't care if someone goes and if I'm one-minded because I want people to hear the gospel. I want people to hear the gospel. Right, God. Yeah, he's not angry with you and me because we trust him. But he is, man. So in Revelation, when Jesus comes back, what does he do? He destroys his enemies.
Yeah, because they've had the chance to
right, and so he's angry with them, man.
So, he's given them all the rope they have to give them every chance.
Right, and so when he comes back, they've denied it over and over and over again, and so he's angry. And that's okay because it's God being just. It doesn't mean that God is some evil, wicked tyrant. It just means that God is a just God, and he will not stand to watch people murder their children. And so if somebody who's lived 90 years of their lives and they died and they are okay with murder and they didn't trust in Jesus Christ, they're going to suffer the wrath of God because God is angry.
That's what we see, which is so painful.
And because God's wrath abides on them, sadly, because they didn't believe in the gospel, ma'am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what the Bible says that when the new covenant, God is no longer with us, he loves us unconditionally. And we have until the moment we die. You know, God is still loving us unconditionally. That's the new covenant.
Yeah, I agree. So every breath every breath we take is a gift from God.
Exactly.
So even the woman walking in here to murder her child, right? She's taking a breath. That is grace from God that she's still alive.
Right.
But at the same time, God's wrath still abides on her because she has not trusted in Jesus Christ. God's wrath was poured out on Jesus Christ on the cross so that those who believe him.
That's why he loves us unconditionally, because Jesus loved us.
Right, man, but yes, man, but he's only paid effectually for the sins of me and you who have trusted in him. If somebody else doesn't ever believe the gospel and Jesus has paid perfectly for their sin, then they should be going to heaven because God's wrath was put on his son. And so there's nothing left for God to be angry at these people.
All they have to do is choose Jesus. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, I gotta have somebody else talk to you. This is not.
Ma'am, I'm out here preaching the gospel. That's all I'm trying to do.
I know.
You know I'm not angry. You've heard my heart. And most of these people know that I'm not angry.
We've worked for years to get this community to really understand and believe.
Yeah, I understand.
With us.
Yeah.
But ma'am, this place closed. They don't like living here with that.
Right, but 90% of the people I talk to here don't care. They'll straight up tell me or give me the finger and tell me I don't care that babies are murdered here.
Well, I'm out here, like a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And this has not been but it has been like over on the main avenue. We do, but for the most part, this has changed to be positive.
Yeah, it's good.
It's amazing. This whole area, they know they've got the message. We're handing out this stuff.
Mm-hmm. But where's the gospel on this? If nobody hears the gospel, even if they don't kill their child, they're still going to hell because they don't know the good news of Jesus Christ. So where's the gospel? Nobody's hearing the gospel. You know what I'm saying, ma'am?
We're not putting it in words, but this is God's love.
Well, gospel has to be,
life.
ma'am. Paul in Romans says,
message.
I understand. Paul in Romans says, how can they believe if they have not heard?
I know that.
You have to use words.
Is
Nobody.
Not the platform to do that.
Why not?
It is not.
So you're telling me that there's a place where the gospel should not go? Is that what you're telling me, ma'am?
No, I'm not. But
that's what you just said. You said this is not the platform.
You have to go. You have to choose where you go and what is your.
Ma'am, there's never a time that is not a good time to share the gospel. My motive.
Condemning anybody.
I'm not condemning anybody, ma'am. My motive is to glorify God and see lives devoted to him and trusting in Jesus Christ alone. Those are my only, and then the fruit of that, if everybody in this building understood the gospel and turned to Jesus Christ, this place would be shut down tomorrow. But even if we shut this place down, and which would be a great thing, even if we shut this place down and nobody in this building responds to the gospel, knows the gospel, everybody in this building is going to hell, unfortunately. And that's a sad thing, and that's why I'm standing here talking to people, ma'am, is because the gospel is not going forth here.
Okay.
That's my
I'm
only
saying
purpose.
is I, in my spirit, is telling me this is not right.
So
Now,
you're
saying
but
it's
ma'am,
right,
ma'am,
and I'm just
are our feelings always 100% on point?
Yeah.
So what it sounds like you're saying to me, and I'm not accusing you of anything. What it sounds like you're saying to me is my spirit is saying this man over here preaching the gospel is not right.
I'm saying the message that's going out from here
Is the gospel,
is
ma'am.
not, but this is not the time. This
Ma'am, so there's not a time for the gospel, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we should have another platform.
To preach
This
the
is
gospel,
not-
ma'am?
This is not the time. It is not
This is not the time to
way.
preach the
I
gospel.
mean, listen, this is preaching the gospel. This is God's
Where on
word.
there-
This is God's
Ma'am,
word.
where on there does it say that God's wrath, God hates sin, and has given us a perfect sacrifice in Jesus Christ, his only son, so that we can be forgiven? If this is all people say, and this is great stuff, right? But if this is all people see, and they don't hear the actual gospel, the good news that God has provided a sacrifice for us in Jesus Christ, this is all pointless if they don't hear that. And that's all I'm trying to do, ma'am. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. And you're saying this isn't a platform for that.
Your heart is right.
People
but
are going to
this is
hell,
not
ma'am.
the place. Well, I
People are
know
going to
it.
hell.
We
That's
know
why I'm
that.
here.
We are out here praying because they don't know.
Praying is great, but you also have to speak words. You just quoted.
You gotta
You
bring
just
people in with God's love. We'll offer you
Nobody's
help.
going to come talk to me if I don't reach out. If I just stand here and somebody gets out of the car and I don't say anything but God loves you, I'm not, that's a truth, but it's not sharing